Alright, what's going on? What are we doing here? Warrior?
We are on Warrior, which is Spellbreaker because it is the last POF elite spec to do.
Oh, it's the end of an era, Boots.
End of an era. That's right.
But do you know what that leaves us open to?
What?
Elite speculation, baby.
Oh.
Sweet little plug for that. Anyway. Not Banners for Boots. We did too many series. What is this? Boots Bad Build first.
Boots Bad Build, and its specialization is the Spellbreaker. It took me a while to do something for it, and I think I've gone over this with you before, because Spellbreaker is just sort of like, you know, a solid thing. And it's just like an extra thing for Warrior that makes it a little bit better. Nothing really...
Can I ask you a question then, since this is something of the series end for this wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a sign of good design to you or bad design to you when it's hard to make a Boots Bad build?
For me, it's bad design because I love, you know, finding something crazy to work with.
And break.
But probably for the game, it's good design.
Okay, yeah. I think it's good design too, to be honest. I think if everything's got a reasonable level of efficacy in line of one another, and the whole thing is packaged in a way in a certain direction, I think that's good. I mean, it's a shame you can't do anything extravagant with it, but what have you got for us?
I mean, there are some interesting things in Spellbreaker that I did want to work with that I didn't in the end, because they are not that well balanced, I think. Like, just for example, the loss aversion.
Okay, so that's do a bit of damage whenever you rip a boon. Yeah,
I feel it's undertuned for PvP. And World versus World, the damage is too low. But in PvE, the damage is probably the right amount, but there's no boons to rip really in PvE.
See, this is the thing, Boots. I think we should have found the one area where there's billions of boons on an enemy and just proc a loss aversion build or something. Treat it like an old Guild Wars 1 specialized farm build and just pretend in the video like it matters. And just do that, you know? I think that'd be amazing.
Sure. Yeah, I should have done that. Good point. But instead, because it was so hard to make a build that I had some fun with some of the builds I was making, but nothing spectacular. So in the end, I found something that I kind of liked, and then I was like, hold on a second. This reminds me of something.
You're really doing a big sell here, by the way. I'm thrilled. I'm on the edge of my seat.
I was like, hold on a second. This reminds me of something. Wait a second. I have an idea. And then it hit me.
Boots.
What? Go ahead.
If you've incorporated Mad King runes I've just got to tell you, there's a point where it goes too far. That was about three videos ago that featured Mad King runes. Spellbreaker did not make you think of Mad King runes, correct?
No, Spellbreaker did not make me think of Mad King runes.
It's not proccing Magebane Tether Might with the Hawks or anything, no? Okay.
No, but it reminded me of something, so I designed a character based entirely around... I designed a character based entirely around what it reminded me of, and then designed the rest of the build based around that character, and that means, my friend, this Spellbreaker build is a cosplay build.
Oh, so it's like the Flame On build?
Kinda, yes, like the Flame On build, but I went really far into making the character look like what it's supposed to look like, instead of just like some random dude that turns into fire.
So you're about to ask me to be a Fashion Wars? Why it's bad?
No. It's also an okay build.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's also a decent build that I enjoy using.
Okay,
all right.
As always, you have a magical way with these intros of getting me amped up for whatever's coming, and yet having no idea as to what's coming.
And also ready for disappointment. Okay, so I'm going to log, and I'll see you in a second.
Yeah, okay.
Here I come. I'm here.
All right, I'm looking back at the screen. Okay. I do not see your name.
Good.
What? What is this? You're huge.
You're
huge. Enormous. I don't know what that's supposed to be, though, Boots. Wait.
Thank goodness.
No, I don't know what that's supposed to be. That looks like one of those like Hulk almost things, but he's in
I think blue? I accidentally also did not put this right stuff on.
Oh, dude, that hammer's awesome. What hammer is that?
I'm not telling you. It's a good one.
Okay. This is going to be a really bad video if I don't know
I think
what
so,
that's
because you
supposed to
can't
be.
get it what it is. Oh, no.
Wait. I have one idea, but I'm scared to say it because I'm going to look like such a moron if I get it wrong.
Fine.
And let me just say...
Someone told me you probably don't know anything about this.
Well, I know about it. I haven't seen it because... DVD, I guess.
No.
There's a movie that came out this year.
No.
It's not Thanos then.
No, it's not Thanos.
No, I mean, the
I knew this was gonna happen.
Wait, what? What? You know, this is your if I don't know this, it's not on me. This is one of the reasons it's a bad build. All right, you can't pick obscure characters that people like me, who you know live rich, fulfilling social lives and aren't too into geekdom. Does the helmet help me figure it out?
Maybe a little bit.
Should I really know this? Is it from?
I don't know if you should know this.
Is it a comic book character?
No. Look at the name now.
Is it Papa Smurf?
I guess look at the name now.
Okay, looking at the name. Oh, it's a Space Marine. Is that what Space Marines look like? Really?
Fuck.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I really don't know. Hold on.
Have you not looked at? Have you not?
I'm on Google, all right? It's fine. Look,
Okay.
it's perfectly fine. This is going to be 100% okay. Oh, you've actually got that really close, dude. Yeah, I'm not into Warhammer at all.
Oh boy. Okay.
I've never been into Warhammer. I don't really know anything about Warhammer. I'm afraid.
All right. Great.
No,
Good.
I'm sorry.
This
I'm
worked
sorry.
out really.
I'm sorry
really
that I was
well.
out getting laid in college.
Okay. Well, to be fair, I too know nothing about Warhammer except that it's called Warhammer, and I looked online and found a picture.
What?
And yeah.
Why would you think that would work? What?
Well, because it worked. Look how good I look.
You do look very good. No, wait. Let's back up then. You were so bereft of an idea for a Spellbreaker build. You randomly Googled Warhammer and was
No.
cool.
No. So,
we'll
like
do
I said,
this.
the build that I was working on reminded me of something, and then I Googled images of the thing it reminded me of.
Oh no.
And then I did it. Beautiful Warhammer 40k cosplay right here. Thank you very much.
I do think it's good. My amazing knowledge on this subject now, lent to me by Google Images, I do think it's pretty cool. It's a shame you can't put the emblem on the shoulder pieces. And they're supposed to be banded in gold, I think, as well.
They are, but the dyes don't work in that respect.
But that is pretty good, dude. That is pretty good. I'm curious now to see how the mechanics line up, because I'm guessing it's the name of a trait or something that has inspired this.
Not entirely.
Have you had, let me ask you this as well, have you had someone come up to you and be like, whoa?
Yes, I have
You
had
have?
that happen several times, yeah.
Oh,
One
no.
guy came up to me and said, what was it, great, or was it sweet? And then I had to look up the word because it was like Mog? Great Mog? I think it's transmogrifier or whatever. I had to look up what that meant. Ooh,
Okay.
Something's happening outside.
Yeah, it sounds like there was someone screaming. God. Okay, so people do recognize it. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say much more than that. That it's pretty cool.
Well,
What is the hammer in
this went basically exactly as I thought it would go.
Yeah, well, look, you've got a plan for these contingencies, you know?
Yeah. So could I explain to you why it's a Warhammer 40k build?
Yeah, please do, please. This is where I'll be able to get involved a bit more.
Well, first of all, the war. I am a warrior.
Oh, my brain's going to hurt at the end of this, isn't it? You're
Second of
actually going to
all,
make my brain hurt by the end of this.
I use a hammer.
Oh.
So it's a war, hammer. And third of all, the most important of all,
Are you about to 40k? How do you get the 40k in there?
I've got 40,000 health.
Do you really? Exactly 40,000 health?
I have 40,174 health.
Oh, the min-max boots.
40K.
If you're taking this into Wild vs. Wild, that'd best be
40K.
exactly 40k.
40k. 40k.
Oh,
I didn't say 40,000, I said 40k. And that you could round that. Thank you very much.
Jesus.
Now 41k, it's 40k. But I also think it is literally the most amount of health you could get in PvP.
Oh, I'm really excited about that then. So it's a min-max HP bot, basically.
It's a min-max HP bot, and it works quite nicely, actually.
Does that have Spellbreaker synergy? Sorry, is there Vitality on Spellbreaker?
Nope, but...
Oh, God!
But there's no vitality on any other line that besides the other two I got.
Okay. So what is the Spellbreaker connection?
I had to make a Spellbreaker build, and it's hard to make Spellbreaker builds, okay?
Oh no, this is so bad.
Well,
this is
okay.
not a Spellbreaker. This is a Warhammer 40k.
To be fair, it's because it's hard to make builds with not as good weapons like hammer, and Spellbreaker just kind of makes weapons that usually don't work because it has extra built-in defense that you anyway. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well maybe we'll find a way for it to go. Hammer has got some Spellbreaker synergy, I guess.
Hammer definitely has quite a bit of Spellbreaker synergy because you got the remove boons on stuns and stuff like that.
It's all about CC and interrupt and denial, and Hammer's kind of made for that. I'm actually surprised Hammer doesn't have more clear connection avenues to Hammer, to be honest, because
actually the only problem is this build works a lot better when you remove the hammer and put
don't
axe
say
dagger.
that, don't reveal that. No.
But we're not going that direction because obviously war hammer
and
40k.
Did I see you have some maces as well in your other set? Was that what was?
Yeah, it's a mace axe I use.
Okay, all right, pretty interesting. So do you want to talk us through the disciplines?
Sure, I would love to. Okay, let's get right into it. We use a strength.
Okay, strength. So I'm guessing you're going strength because you want great fortitude more than
That
anything
is
else.
correct. Great fortitude gives you 10% of your power turns into vitality.
Cool.
So that means with your thingamajig, which is, I'll tell you about that later, you get an extra, I think, 190 vitality from that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's,
So 1,900
900
health. Okay.
Every little bit counts. And then obviously you go, well, not obviously, but I go peak performance as my adept trait.
Okay. Physical skills, reduced recharge, gains 10% damage after using them, and you get the full damage on it as well, the death from above, so you launch people when you jump on them.
Exactly. That's mostly to tie into your Rampage, and Rampage works really well with this build too, with its reduced cooldown nowadays.
Okay.
And then finally for the Grandmaster, you got Might Makes Right.
Can I just ask, on the Rampage thing, I'm sure we'll come back to it, that is a vitality booster too, but you're not relying on that to hit the 40k, are you?
No, you are not.
Okay, cool.
In fact,
so we're going to get a big exciting moment where you Rampage later in the video and we see how high it goes, yeah?
Oh yeah, with the Rampage you have like 64k or 66k health.
Oh, no, don't reveal it yet. Look, that's a hook for people.
Is it though?
It would be for me if I was watching this video. I'd want to be like, how high does it go? Definitely.
Okay, alright, sure. Might Race Right as your Grandmaster for a good amount of healing, endurance gain for all those dodges that you love so much.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then for the next trait line we got Discipline.
Okay, so that's curious to me. I would have maybe expected one of the other lines instead, but...
Yeah, you think so.
So you're going for the weapon swap goodness, might reduce burst skills, weapon swap for going faster, adrenaline on weapon swap for all your passives. Then what do we pick up beyond that?
Beyond that, you get Warrior Sprint as your adept.
Okay, so you get the 25% move speed, the immobilized rip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and damage boost with swiftness. I forgot about that too.
Yeah, it's a new one.
How high is that in World vs. World? Because it's like 7% in PvE. 3 here.
It's probably still 3. I don't know, actually. I haven't checked.
Okay.
Anyway, and then I do Axe Mastery as my Grandmaster.
Oh, okay. So you have one axe offhand,
Yeah.
but the way they retooled this trait, which means you don't need both axes to get the full ferocity. You just need one
right.
axe in either hand, and you get much higher crit damage, plus 300 ferocity. Also buffs your adrenaline, which I'm guessing with a mace in the main hand helps you to get more skull cracks and stuff out.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
full counters, which is kind of cool, actually.
And also the recharge reduction of 20% on the axe skills for your offhand means that your dual strike, the number 4, is on a 9.5 second cooldown, which means that because of your fast swapping hands thing, it'll always be up when you swap back if you're doing your quick swaps every time.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice little flow there.
And anyway, the 300 ferocity is quite large. That's what, like 20% crit chance, crit damage. So it's really
quite a lot,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then finally, the master is Inspiring Battle Standard.
Banners. So I actually like this. I was hoping this is what you was gonna say. Banners give regen, but then there's the newish perk on it as well. Just the efficacy of them is increased, which most of us think about in terms of the offensive banners, but that does mean your vitality offering banner now is more rewarding than it ever has been in the past, which means that going a vitality crazy character like this is stronger now than it has been in the past too. So I'm actually quite excited by.
Exactly. So instead of 170 vitality, my defense banner gives me 255 vitality, I believe.
Yeah, and everyone around you too. What's amazing right now, Boots, that you've just put in my head with this banner, is the thought of stacking lots of these dudes. Not that I think it'll be any good in a World vs. World zone or anything.
I don't know. It would be pretty good, just like trashing around with a hammer.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything for vitality really, except that I've just picked up a couple of traits you chose. I'm already at 29k just because you put this banner here, so I feel like a beefcake, and I realise that you're like way beefier, and it's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so then finally, the last bit is Spellbreaker, obviously.
The most important aspect, the glue that ties it all together.
For sure, the most important aspect. No, it's so with the hammer. You go, Adept is no escape, dazes and stuns inflict immobilize, just so that they can't escape from you.
Oh, I like that. No ICD on it either. And you've got so many dazes and stuns with this weapon
Exactly.
set.
And with your, like, the axe does big AoE dazes and stuns, so that's a lot of fun.
You know what I also like about the axe offhand instead of just doubling up with the maces? The mace CC is not a daze or a stun, it's a knockdown. So you wouldn't get the no escape value out of it anyway, so it's
true, but I mean there is the pommel bash, which is a 1 second daze.
No, that's on the main hand. I'm talking about offhand.
Oh, offhand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, what about the miners, by the way? Is there anything we get? Full counter, obviously super good.
Yeah, full counter is impressive.
Remove boons,
also that
CC.
It means the full counter is a daze also, so you would immobilize with your full counter, which is nice.
Yeah, true.
Dispelling Force removes boons, very important. And then for the hammer, you do loss aversion because it's either loss aversion or slow counter.
Okay.
And either of them are fine. You could have fun with either. But getting a little more adrenaline whenever you do remove boons and stuff, it's pretty good. You have your Skull Crack and your Earthshaker more often, which is nice.
Are you reliant on that? Because I think slow counter looks way better.
It's pretty good. I would say you could take either one, but I do have a lot of stuns and stuff, so boons will be removed quite often.
Okay.
Means, yeah, it's a little more adrenaline. It's like happens more often because the even though full counter, one of the reasons you take discipline, besides the fact that the banner gives you so much vitality, is discipline has a great interaction with full counter in that it reduces the cooldown of it. But even then, the full counter in PvP and World vs. World is at a 10.25 second cooldown instead of 12 seconds, I believe. So you're only getting a 3 seconds glow at most every 10.25 seconds. So that's good, but it's not amazing.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And then Attacker's Insight, you're doing a lot of disabled, so you're going to be getting your Ferocity and Power. And then finally, I use Magebane Tether.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hitting with a burst skill, cast a tether, and then that will pull them back if they try to get away and give you might continuously as long as they're in range.
Yeah, the might continuously is the big thing because it's three stacks of might every second for 8 seconds, and that goes well with Might Makes Right because you'll be basically getting a better healing signet every second.
Yeah, that Magebane Tether Might Makes Right combo is a really effective. I'm not PvPing so much lately, but was always very, very solid dueling combo to take.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
great.
Pretty cool.
It's great. And it also reveals the guy.
For World vs. World as well, I value reveal like ultra high just because the thing I hate about World vs. World nearly more than anything else is duels where they'll stealth out and leave. So a bit of reveal, I love on a build.
It's fantastic, yeah.
For roaming situations.
Yeah, so there you go. And also pulls great just because you're a melee character, so you're going to want to make sure that they can't get away from you.
Okay, so that's all well and good, Boots. I think that's all fine. However, the spirit of the build is about vitality and health. And
that's
so
right.
I think we should jump straight into the gear because there's actually a lot of interesting choices here in how you get max value out of Great Fortitude and your Ferocity and build vitality, right?
Mm-hmm. So actually, there is only one viable choice for this.
Okay.
Because in PvP, there's an amulet that doesn't exist anywhere else in the game, and it's a stat combination that doesn't exist in PvE either.
Okay.
And that is the Barbarian Amulet.
Barbarian, which I can't find it on the list right now. I was looking at it for Vitality. There you go. It's the only Vitality stacked Ami. Power, precision, and Vitality.
So it's perfect for this build. You get your full Vitality, 1200. That's 12,000 health. And then you get solid power, which plays into the Great Fortitude, and solid precision, so that you can do your critical hits with your extra ferocity from your axe.
It just dawned on me, you've played Qs on this. You've actually played this, haven't you? You've actually gone in. The reality of that just dawned on me. And we're going to be seeing footage of you actually playing on a 40k.
It's fantastic.
Oh, God.
It's very, very meaty. It's very meaty.
Oh, my God.
More cushion for the pushing.
This is brilliant. Okay. Barbarian. Cool.
Right.
So, what's your crit chance with that?
My crit chance
47
is...
plus 20% from Fury, which you will be getting from various sources.
Well, my crit chance is 51 plus 20%.
Oh, runes and things. So, yeah, a rune?
My rune is the thing that really made me go for this build in the first place. I don't know if you heard about this. There is a subtle change to a certain rune very recently that didn't even go into the patch notes.
Oh, maybe I didn't hear about this. Go ahead.
So, what do you know about Rune of Divinity?
It's like a global stat thing. Oh, it says plus 10% maximum health.
Yeah, that's plus 10% maximum health, not plus 10% vitality or plus 10% base vitality or whatever. That means all of your health gains then gets an extra 10% on top of that.
Wow, when did that happen? I missed that completely.
I know. It was like a stealth patch.
When was the stealth patch?
It was like a month ago.
Oh, late July. I see it. July 24th, 2018. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Wow. And the devs never talked about why they did it? Is that in both? That's on all formats?
That's in all formats.
Oh, Boots. I'm so excited now because, this is cool. I'm really, really keen to see how high this goes in World vs. World soon. That's awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
So in PvP, the maximum health you could possibly have on a character now is with Warrior, and that's 40,174 health.
I think it was always Warrior, wasn't it? I think Warrior even...
Yeah, except, with Necromancer, you can't say that they don't have a lot of health, because I think they could get up to around 3,700.
And then the Shroud
37,000, and then the Shroud is an extra 60% on top of that, so you're like seeing 60k just base.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Now, you have your banner of defense, but you pop Rampage, and you're up to 62,174 health.
And that's a cool bit of quality of life on Warrior people might not appreciate that Boots is demonstrating there. Rampage is one of the very few elite transforms that still lets you interact with environmental stuff, and it's purely because banners are baked into the build, so you can carry a banner around in Rampage. So you can still take that thing with you. That's cool, man.
So 60, I mean, you can just drop it and still have the base boost, but yeah, it's good.
So does the rune 10% trigger after the Rampage?
I believe...
Do you get what I mean?
It does not,
okay.
I want to say.
Still, that's crazy.
No. So I tested it afterwards, and it actually does. Rampage normally gives 20k HP in PvP, but with the rune, it gives 22k, which is exactly 10% more.
This is crazy. 62k. The footage of this has to be you wading in 1v... Terrible rotations, please. I want to see the worst rotations of the world. I just want to see you run in... Because I used to play a thing like this. I never took it into PvP, but World versus World. And it's amazing how tanky you get. Like, really. It's really, really fun to feel how different it is in the flavor of tankiness as well. Because the other cool thing as well we didn't talk about, but his mace auto chain is weaknessing too. And the weakness, like, if you're in many of these situations, you could just, like, in World versus World, auto-attack these champions of camps while they have Righteous on them, and it doesn't do it. It doesn't matter, you know? Like, you're fine.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
also,
it's very
Hammer
cool.
2. Hammer 2 does weakness as well.
Yeah, you just got so much of it splashing out, and it's the combo of everything together makes you so sturdy. It's an extremely enlightening thing to play, I think, because it shows you a side of Guild Wars 2 that's very non-twitchy and very attritive, that most of the game doesn't have mechanics like that feel that way. That's cool, dude. That is very cool. Rune of Divinity. What about your sigils? I can't imagine anything too interesting unless I'm missing
Nothing
something.
too interesting. I've basically gone for more might gain. So on my mace axe, I have Sigil of Battle, just one of them, because not on the other thing, because you have fast hands, so only one of them really count.
Yeah.
So Sigil of Battle and Sigil of Courage for might on hit, and then for the whatever it's called, the hammer, I've got Sigil of Courage again, but you could maybe take Sigil of Cleansing just to give you a little bit of cleansing on top of that. And I take Sigil of Ruthlessness.
Okay, so that's on Rupt, right? You're stealing... No, you're getting might on Rupt.
You gain 5 stacks of might when you interrupt a foe. Yeah.
Well,
so
I would probably do those a little bit differently, to be honest.
Fair enough. I mean, since you have... something I was playing with also a while ago, since you have fast hands, and there are so many on-swap sigils on a 9-second cooldown, it's fun to just stack a bunch of on-swap sigils on a 9-second cooldown and always swap weapons every 5 seconds, because you get full benefit from them.
Yeah, and that's like the theoretical cap as well.
Yeah.
Of how much benefit you could get. That's a cool thought. I think cleansing was probably the smartest thing you said there by a long way. But it depends. I mean, from a PvP perspective, that Grandmaster and Spellbreaker is pretty interchangeable. You could easily swap that to Revenge Counter, get a bit of resist there. And, you know, so utilities, you do have to give one up for the banner. I mean, that stings,
That
man.
is rough. That is rough, but I mean, you know, it gives you
I
an
agree.
extra
Within the context of the build, it's kind of
2,800 health is nothing to... Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing with those vital other slots? What did you boil them down to?
The other vital slots, I use Shake It Off.
Okay.
I know you're saying that, but there is no condition removal on this build, essentially. And nowadays, Shake It Off does something special, which it removes 6 conditions from you and all your friends, and breaks tons of all your friends around.
And is on ammo now, so that's why I'm not outright screaming at you, because I haven't played it, but it does seem very different to when I last looked at it. It might genuinely be a good slot right instead of, you know, Featherfoot Grace, for example. Maybe Shake It Off can compete with that, you know.
I feel like Shake It Off is in a place right now that it's almost a must take. For me, anyway, that's just me. So, like, I know a lot of people.
Break too, as
exactly. And also, this is very replaceable, but I like it because of Might Mate, right? And the fury that it gives you, I use for Great Justice.
Okay.
I know, but again, so what this is doing though is turning this build into less of a you're relying on yourself build, but also it's a build that you wade into big fights with a bunch of people in them. You give 12. Maybe 24 might out to all your friends, fury out to all your friends. You remove all the conditions from them, and then you're doing huge AoE stuns and knockdowns and stuff to people.
Yeah, it's like you're a supplementary support kind of thing. You're not like a raw support. You're not really a great damager either, frankly.
Yeah.
But you're like somewhere in that weird hybrid zone of unplayability, for what it's worth. But
of
you're kind of
unplayability,
there,
exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
And you have the banner, so you're giving out regeneration to all your friends as well, for what that's worth.
So the elite, given all that, I'm guessing you're about to say wins, or maybe battle standard.
I do Rampage.
Oh yeah, Rampage. Obviously, yeah. Okay, for the vitality, right?
Yeah,
and the peak performance.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you just say to the limit as well?
No. I use Signet Healing.
Okay. For the resist, for the regen. I mean, it's interesting to see that Hailsig is a flat amount of regeneration, and the devs were quite smart in that they never scale those regenerative things to your max vitality, so it always hits a baseline, which is smart, but it also kind of makes building lots of vitality feel unrewarding in Guild Wars 2. Because can you imagine if the potency of a heal over time increased when the pool is deeper?
Yeah, but I mean, that's why they can't scale things to vitality for healing. They have to scale to healing power that way.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day we'll find an elite spec that deals with this comfortably. You know, what you're basically building is very, very close to what I've always wanted as a sentinel for a warrior.
Right. So an interesting thing, though, is that Healsig is not probably the best heal for this build. Natural healing is really strong. 25-second cooldown, almost a 12k heal with no healing power. Removes 7 conditions, so that'll help with your condition removal as well. Removes 7 boons, but that's not a big issue because the only boons you're really giving yourself is Fury, which you could get back, and Might, which you get back
They're
really
small
fast
packets
as well.
that will roll back in. Yeah.
Exactly. So that is a better heal skill for you, but the problem is, since this build doesn't really have any stability except for on your full counter, it's really hard to get off successfully unless you're a really good player. So just for the more regular healing, that's less hard to get off when you need it, the healing sickness was the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, so if are we segueing into why it's bad, or do you want to talk about the world versus world gear for a second?
Yeah, we could wade into world versus world if you want. So so the problem is in PvE, well, you're not going to really use this in PvE because you don't need that much health in PvE, but in world versus world, like I said, there's no gear set like Berserker or
Barbarian.
like Barbarian.
But there is an amazing gear set. There's one even better than Barbarian.
Not entirely if you want to actually do any kind of damage.
But you're not going to. I know where this conversation is going. You're going to say that Sentinels is kind of lame because you don't get the precision on there. But please, come on, man. You don't do any damage anyway. And in world versus world situations where all that health matters, you getting in there with the little hammer and stuff, just, let's stick with the CC and, the shake it offs and stuff and appreciate that that's your value.
Yeah.
Sentinels is amazing. You can read it out. Go on, tell people what's so good about Sentinels.
So Sentinels is power low stat, toughness low stat, which is means you're super tanky.
Yeah, and the power becoming vitality
and main vitality.
I mean, how good is that?
It's pretty good.
Perfect synergy. It's perfect. It's everything you want. You want that toughness in there as well. You are a tanky god, a vitality tank. That's what you are. And you have no resustain at all of any worthwhile note, but it's hilarious and it's amazing. And so that's why I want an elite spec called Sentinel as well, the Sentinel. And I want it to have Grand Masters that are essentially Great Fortitude, but at a Grand Master scale of an elite specialization. Just roll both my power and my toughness into more vitality. Give me both at once,
Yeah, that would be nice. So anyway, but what I've been doing is running full Sentinel armor, full Sentinel trinkets, but then for my weapons, either using assassins or marauders, so that I do bring with Fury, bring my crit chance up to around 50%.
Oh, come on, man.
What do you mean?
All right, here's why it's bad. You're so close to being optimized for super high vitality, which is the exciting thing, and then you're just lopping off the top for no reason.
Except with my banner and my food, with the assassin's gear, you're still over at 40k health.
Except that you should go all the way and put on a sigil of intelligence and be done with it.
Right, so right now I am wearing all Sentinel, because I also made a mace and a shield that were Sentinels.
Good, man. Yeah, what's your health? Give me that banner. Rampage it up. Let's see.
I also put vital infusions
yes!
in, plus 5 only, not plus 7 because I'm not rich.
Okay.
And also, my back piece and one of my rings is not at full infusions. So instead of 18 infusions total, I only have 16 at plus 5 instead of plus 7. So I'm missing about, 360 plus 36 plus 2 plus 10. No, plus 14. What's 36 plus 14? 50. I'm missing about 500 health.
And food?
From infusions. So the good food to use is dragonfish something or other. Dragonfish.
Don't look at me. I don't know. I don't know what the.
I'm gonna look it up right now. So the good food to use, they're in my bank right now. Dragonfish candy, which is a plus 100 vitality, but also gives you plus 200 power when your health is below 50%.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't think that thing rolls into Great Fortitude, by the way.
It doesn't, but it's plus 200 power when you're below 50% health.
Yeah.
But the max vitality version is flatbread.
Flatbread, just
plain old flatbread. You have to. I think they're only in maybe it's HOT or Path of Fire, but it's account bound on acquire on make, so you can't get it any other way. You have to craft it.
Oh wow! Look at this.
Yeah, and it's
this is POF arm. This is POF food.
Yeah, well, there you go. And it's just flat 150 vitality, so that's 1,500
Look at all these little things that have come into the game over the past year that power creep the max health threshold. And I was so unaware of some of them. This is cool.
Yeah. So there you go. You get eat your fat bread. You have your magnanimous sharpening stone, which gives you power equal to your vitality and toughness.
Okay, that's cool. Another one, I used to run the Karka toughness from South Sun Cove as well, just for the tanky angle, because it's like 200 flat toughness as well.
Right.
Which is just mental.
Right,
But,
and then
yeah,
you
that's
drop
good.
your banner, and you end up with 4,700, but you're missing 500, so it'll give you 550 with the plus
And
10%.
Rampage?
Well, hold on a second. So you'd be 4,500, a little bit more without any buffs from World versus World towers and stuff like that.
Yeah, which can go higher, true.
And with Rampage, you're at 66,700, just without any of those buffs. But with those buffs and with the infusions I'm missing, you with Rampage will break 70,000 health.
That's amazing. And the other thing you can do, if I was on an Ellie, I could give you an Earth Shield, which would bump you would be standing next to the banner, holding the Earth Shield.
Yeah.
Your vitality would go up even more.
Go do that. Go do that now.
You want me to go do that? Okay, alright, we will. For the final big ticket... Sorry, I summoned it on the banner. Hopefully you can pick the right thing up. There you go.
Nope.
No. There we go.
Oh, 46,700. And with this, 68,741.
You get a cheeky little block in Vuln there, reflects, protection
bad.
application.
Not bad.
Pretty good. Lots of
yeah.
CCs on there as well, which will proc your Spellbreaker trait. See, the synergy does exist to the naysayers.
Synergy does exist. And so, like, the tower buff from World vs. World is 100 vitality as well.
Yeah.
And then you have the Borderlands buff. So if you have both of them, I think it's 50 extra each total.
Yeah, oh no, didn't they scale that down a bit? Or I can't remember, but yeah, if you have Bloodlust, it will go.
Yeah, so you will beat 70,000 for sure. Okay, so we're done. So actually, no, you have to tell me why it's bad.
Well, I mean, I've listed a lot of stuff out. The main area of improvement, if I'm not allowed to change... First of all, just very, very bluntly, why it's bad is it has extremely low pressure, both the Wild versus Wild and the PvP variants. I can tell that without
Who says
seeing
that?
any
You have
game.
no idea if it has low pressure.
No, I have very good idea. It has terrible, terrible pressure. It's really
Hey,
low
that's
pressure.
not true at all. That offhand
Okay,
acts...
well, we can agree to disagree, and I'm sure you can get some good footage that shows it doing things, but I really think this is not a hard enough hitter whatsoever. But also, it is kind of that... The thing that makes it so fascinating is also kind of what makes it bad to me. That idea that you can slowly be atrophied down. There is a sense of that, particularly in PvP, on sort of short terms, but on long, it's going to be the kind of build that can't really peel too well away for itself, and it's just going to slowly see its death coming 10 seconds before it comes, kind of thing, and you're not going to be able to do too much to get away from it. You know, that you got no GS to be able to actually get some good movement there. Basically, in the hands of a real expert who is perfect and immaculate at every individual little jump, you might be okay. At least you picked up Warrior Sprint, if I remember rightly, so you can, do a little bit of something. But, yeah, you are really going to have to be very, very precise. This is the kind of build that gets far too stuck. It's too immobile, and it doesn't have the pressure to do enough on its own, I don't think. I do get a bit scared of the shouts, but I appreciate the shouts changed a lot. For Great Justice, I would definitely change. Something like Featherfoot Grace affects the condies and the mobility a bit at the same time because of the super speed. It allows you to keep that pressure with a hammer, which it really kind of needs. And then sigils as well. I think I'd be like purging and cleansing like heavily. Like this build you've made, Boots, is like kind of a dream for like necros and people to just cast condies on you forever. It's kind of amazing. It lets you, because you'll just keep getting them stacked up and up and up and up and up. So
and then
you get those cleanses on and you rip 15 plus bleeds at once because you're frequently doing it because you're just such a face tank. It's kind of a cool idea. So yeah, I would have just gone harder with that. And also the other thing that I really appreciate about that build, I'm not on the warrior anymore, so I can't look fully, but it's really unfortunate how you are kind of locked into strength and discipline, because, you know, you kind of need the discipline for that banner thing. That's too exciting, and you kind of need strength for great fortitude, and so you can't, but then they don't give you the wiggle room you need. What you really want is to get defense on there somehow, you know, like defense feels like it should be a match made in heaven for someone building a ton of vitality, and then
so the proper way to play this would probably be, if you wanted a build that actually works and not has to have 40k health,
You sacrifice a bit of the health somewhere. You could.
Yeah, you would drop. Well, you would drop discipline because that means you get to not use a banner anymore, right? So you could take off the banner.
Yeah, and you free up that slot. Yeah, you free up the utility slot, and then you get that whole line. You get a much more potent line defense, which can start resolving your stability issues, either on the utility or because of the trait, if you're running it. You know, there's all those little things there. Rousing resilience you can pick up as well, which is hilarious on a build like that. Just stack even more toughness up.
Yeah, you'll still have 37 almost K health. So, or actually more than 37k health. So that's still pretty meaty. I mean, that new amulet change is pretty dang good.
The rune chain. What I really think you've demonstrated here, and those are my reasons why it's bad. I guess I'll be done with that. But what you've made me really realize is, I wish for all the warriors out there that banner and raiders and stuff are not going to like the sound of this whatsoever. But I wish that banner trait was in defense or tactics. I think thematically and in terms of like the real build craft of the game, it should be in one of those lines. It's convenient for all of us who love the DPS for it to be in discipline where it's taken, but I think everything really about the game screams that should be in a different line, and it's a shame.
Yeah. Agreed.
There you go. That's it. That's what I think. It's a cool build. I like it.
Thank you. All right. Just one last thing, I guess, before we go. Like I said earlier, if you actually want to make this build work, probably get rid of the banner. And use an axe dagger instead of the hammer, and go with Sun and Moon style for those extra heals. And then you could go guard, counter, or pure strike as your adept. But yeah, so like you're
doing roll the resustain in there, yeah.
7% extra critical damage to healing. So that's like, you know, an extra 33% healing to what you're currently doing. When you're in that.
It's interesting though, when you have so much vitality, little packets of healing like that feel so inconsequential, you know?
But it adds up, man. It adds up.
It's like when you feel that difference between being a Magi's Ellie versus a Cleric's Ellie, you feel like the Cleric's Ellie heals so much more, but the truth is it's just you've got no vitality anymore, so your health spikes all over. When you go all the way up to like 60k health, it must feel like, you know, you can't even see it anymore.
Yeah, but so just to let you know though, so I've gone defense with what I was just saying with the axe, whatever. Anyway, with different things, I've gone defense. So with adrenal health, with your healing signet, and I think I was going, and with your Mage Bane tether, might makes right. You'll basically be healing like 1200 health every second.
Yeah, that's heavy. That is heavy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Can you imagine if Doliac rune tier 6 scaled based on max health? Then it would be like, oh, run Doliac runes because you get that extra regen on top. You know, there's all these little things. Also, the other thing, as silly as of a thought experiment some of you cynically might think this is, it wouldn't take much for the devs to have a fixate vitality instead of toughness tank in a raid encounter and have it hit really goddamn hard. And you can find these kinds of elements of theorycraft become relevant in a weird way. Yeah. Not entirely, because you'll just have Chronos go a bit higher on the vitality, but, you know.
Right.
Throw us a bone here.
All right, well, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, dude, it was cool. It was cool. That's the end of the season, isn't it? Nice.
It is.
That's Good job with the Spellbreaker, the most cohesive one of them all, I think.
Yeah, cohesive in some direction, anyway.
And we'll have to have a talk about what we've got coming up in the future as well.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I'll see you later, man. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.